I'm Josh Weissman, and this is Cooking for Characters, where I cook dishes for some of Netflix's most iconic personalities. Today, I'm summoning my most stoic, monochrome, woeful self to cook for the one and only Wednesday Addams. I'm crafting a meal worthy of her palate, chorizo squid ink pasta, dark as her wardrobe, and just enough spice to count as a little emotional expression.
You want a snack?
So let's see if this dish could make Wednesday maybe crack a smile.
I want to assure you I remain as cold and heartless as the first day we met.
We're gonna start with 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour directly onto a cutting board. You can use a little bowl to make a nice little divot in the center. And then to that, you're going to add 5 egg yolks, 1 whole egg, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and then finally, a little over a tablespoon of squid ink. This is the key to our squid ink pasta. You can't have squid ink pasta without squid ink, right? That colors it, but it also adds sort of an oceanic seafood flavor. Take a little fork, and you're gonna puncture all your yolks, and then just start whisking all that together. Try not to whisk it too hard. The goal is to not let it fall out the bounds of your little moat you've created. And you'll notice as you mix this, that the flour is slowly gonna start to make its way into the liquid. That's good. That's gonna start the actual dough. Push a little flour in there, mix, push a little flour, and you're just gonna rinse and repeat. Now, I'm gonna just bring everything together, kind of fold it over itself and chop. Fold, chop, fold, chop. Now, you have all these crumbly bits. Now you can start kneading by hand. Push the dough together, press away from you, and again, rinse and repeat. Let all that flour hydrate. We're kneading darkness into dough. Flour, egg yolk, squid ink, the holy trinity of Gothic carbs. If it feels a little sticky, you can always add a touch of flour to it. Once it comes together and it's no longer sticking, you're gonna knead that until you get a nice, smooth, cohesive dough like this. This dough is like Wednesday, stiff but not too stiff, dramatic and not for the faint of heart. Now, take a little plastic wrap, cover it completely, let that rest for about 30-ish minutes, then we can roll it out.
5 more minutes. I was just getting comfortable.
Don't be scared just because I pulled out the electronic pasta roller.
Is that supposed to scare me?
You could do this with a rolling pin. I mean, you could even do this with a wine bottle. Dust it lightly with all-purpose flour. Now to make this more manageable, you could split your dough in 2. Set one to the side, stretch them out a little bit. Thickest setting first, just let it go on through. All right, give it another dusting, both sides. Now we're gonna drop that down just 1 notch. A little thinner. All right, touch more flour, both sides. The goal here is to get the pasta as thin as you can without it tearing. You can also go a little thicker. It really honestly is up to you. That's the beauty of making your own pasta. You can kind of make it however you want. I'm looking to see it drape over my fingers almost like a nice suede. So I'm gonna go down 1 more notch. Now we're on level 5. Now, after going to level 5, I'm gonna split this in thirds. Something roughly the size of the noodles I wanna see. And then I'm gonna run them 1 more time each. Now at level 6. Now we cut them into fettuccine. Now there's 2 ways to do that. You could roll them up and then cut them with your knife across into like segments, depending on how wide you want your noodles to be. Now that said, you can also just use a pasta cutter. Knife, pasta cutter, up to you. I'm using the fettuccine function. Just make sure that they're floured nicely before going in. Look at that. It's like little leather shoelaces. We're gonna use them right away. Roll them around your finger, and then we'll store them in nice little bundles like this. And then we'll repeat with the rest of our pasta. Now we're ready to make our sauce. We have a large saute pan. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil over medium heat. And once that oil is hot, you're just going to squeeze 2 Mexican chorizos into your pan. Fragrant, cinnamony, spicy, salty.
Scram, psycho, before my claws slip.
Chaotic, like Wednesday's werewolf roommate.
Enid?
And we're gonna spread that chorizo out across the whole pan, increase the heat to medium-high, and just let that sear for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now, while that's going, I have 4 cloves of garlic. We're slicing our garlic so we get a little bit more of a gentle garlic flavor rather than like an in-your-face garlic breath. I want this more so to be perfumed with garlic. Now, once you're starting to get a little bit of caramelization on this chorizo, just continue to break that up into smaller pieces with your spoon until it's as small as possible. And then just let that cook for another 1 to 2 minutes, tossing occasionally until fully cooked. Reduce the heat to medium, and now we're gonna add our thinly sliced garlic from earlier in there, and you're just gonna lightly saute that for about 30 to 45 seconds or just until fragrant. You're gonna smell all that nice garlic.
Don't you find the smell of fresh air positively nauseating?
Now we're gonna add 2 cups of tomato passata directly into that. Garlic for drama, tomato passata for, blood. 1 bay leaf, and a touch of salt to taste, and then just stir and simmer over medium heat and let it simmer for about 1 to 2 minutes or just until slightly thickened. Now, once that's come up to a simmer, you're gonna add half a pound or peeled and deveined shrimp with the tails still attached. Shrimp go in last, they cook fast, like Wednesday's superior comebacks.
Don't tell me you were a Girl Scout.
I can eat Girl Scouts for breakfast. Actually, I have an uncle who went to prison for that.
Again, season very lightly with salt. Give those a toss, and then just let those simmer in that sauce for about 2 to 4 minutes or just until the shrimp are cooked through. Woo-wee! Tell you what, these shrimpies, they're cooked. Let's give a little taste. Tastes fantastic. Now I'm gonna season this a little more than I usually do because I'm gonna add lemon juice to this, which the acidity is gonna bring down the salt levels, medium heat. Now, at this stage, we can start cooking off our pasta. We have a pot of boiling water. Season generously with kosher salt. Now, finally, beautiful pasta. We're just gonna lay that into our boiling water, all of it. Don't be shy. Boom, give it a little stir so they don't stick. Fresh pasta can sometimes be as little as 60 seconds, so keep an eye on them. Look at that, dude. Look at these nudes, dude. Scary. Wednesday, are you watching? Should probably not.
I'd rather stick needles in my eyes.
They're close. 30 more seconds. Now, at this stage, I'm gonna cut off the heat to this, and we're gonna take 2 to 4 tablespoons of lemon juice in here, all right? But I want this to be acidic and nice. All right, pasta's done. I have a beautiful spider I'm gonna strain these out with. It's okay if a little bit of pasta water gets in there, because we're probably gonna add more anyway. That beautiful squid ink linguine, or in this case, more of a fettuccine, if you will. Before we toss this, about a 1/4 cup of fresh chopped parsley. Then I have a small ladle. I'm gonna add like 2 tablespoons, maybe 3, of my pasta water, and then we're gonna give this a toss to coat thoroughly in our sauce. And look at that, we have a beautiful, nicely emulsified sauce. Now let's plate it up. This is the moment it all comes together, like when Wednesday finally hugs her friend once and then never again. This pasta isn't just dark, it's deep, like the backstory she refuses to share. We've finally made it. I mean, look at this beautiful dish. Not only is it different than the average pasta dish in general, but it looks visually striking. The darkness of these deep, endless pools of sadness, but also deliciousness. What I'm smelling is that beautiful oceanic shrimp, the tomato, the garlic, but also refreshing lemon. It's zesty. The noodles turned out great. I'm actually really happy with them. Let's give it a little taste. Whoa, this exceeded my expectations. It's rich, yet refreshing. The acidity really helps keep this nice and even keel. It's not oily at all. It's just so beautifully lemony and citrusy, but then you get that nice caramelized tomato, a little bit of smokiness and spiciness from the chorizo, but just very lightly. And then that nice subtle garlic and shrimp flavor comes in at the end. It is so balanced, you're gonna feel good after you eat this, no matter how dark your soul is.
Could we please do without the overt display of emotion?
Now remember, Wednesday Season 2 is now streaming on Netflix. Don't wait, don't breathe, don't blink, just press play. And also maybe make this pasta. It's really good. It's like shockingly good. So, how did I do? Let me know in the comments. And also, please tell me what you'd like to see or who you'd like me to cook for next on Cooking for Characters.